The entire country, celebrates ISRO's stellar achievements. Our scientists don't need an endorsement from any political party. And the fact that we rose like a phoenix after Chandrayaan 2 in 2019 failed to do what it set out to do. It only goes on to show that sometimes you need to have a hard landing, as Sachin Tendulkar said, in order to have a successful soft landing. Now, cutting through the faff and, coming straight to your question. Yes, Jawaharlal Nehru set up INCOSPAR in 1962, but Jawaharlal Nehru died in 1964. INCOSPAR did precious little in those 2 years between 1962 and 1964. Now, whether INCOSPAR was renamed as ISRO in 1969, that's not the debate. But the debate today is also not about whether Prime Minister Modi deserves the credit. But it cannot be a sheer coincidence, Swati, that the largest number of satellites launched in the last 9 years have happened under the aegis of Prime Minister Modi. Till date, India has launched 431 foreign satellites for 34 countries. Out of these 431 satellites, 397 were launched in the last 9 years, which means 92% of the satellites that India has launched till date were launched under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. You don't want to give credit to Modi? Fine. What happened in 2017? We broke the erstwhile Russian record and launched 104 satellites in a single mission.
Okay.
That was a new record. That happened under the aegis of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The fact that India's space industry will be a 13 billion industry by 2025. That also the footprint has been laid by Prime Minister Modi. And since Lokesh mentioned facts, I would urge you to go and look up the archives of ISRO. You will be surprised to know that while India's space industry will be a $13 billion industry by 2025, France, Germany are still at $4.5 billion. Only China has a slightly higher budget at $17 billion. So please don't come, Lokesh, and peddle fake data. And I just want to say one thing. Even the Aditya L1 mission to explore the corona and the chromosphere of the sun, that is being done at a measly cost of merely 378 crore.
Right, but then Sanju Verma,
but we are doing a lot more than our peers.
That is all the efforts and technological innovations and advancements all being done by the scientists, isn't it? So isn't BJP also falling in that trap and indulging in the credit war every time, saying that all of this is happening under our leadership?
No, I will be very brazen about this. I believe that unless there is political will, and that political will is amply demonstrated by a leadership that has the courage of conviction to execute projects, no matter who you are, until there is political willpower, you cannot achieve the kind of milestones that India has achieved. And while we celebrate ISRO, I just want to remind you, when Chandrayaan 2 failed to have a successful lunar landing on the moon, I can show you umpteen tweets from everybody in the Congress to the RJD to TMC, taking a pot shot at Narendra Modi. यदि आप नरेंद्र मोदी के ऊपर लांछन लगा सकते थे,
Lokesh Jindal, you did that. You've been doing it constantly. Your party has been constantly doing it. Every time India achieves a milestone, every time there is an accomplishment, the Congress party starts this credit war. Now, Sanju Verma says there has to be a political will. Let me, in fact, also remind you, Lokesh Jindal, of what the former ISRO chairperson G. Madhavan Nair said. In 2019, he leveled an allegation saying that the UPA government wanted to show some major event before the 2014 election, and with that objective, the UPA government went ahead with the Mangalyaan mission. So who really was trying to, score political brownie points here?
Well, Swati, the credit must be given to the person who deserves it. You cannot have one person every time claiming all the credit.
No, you're not answering. You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question. I told you about the allegation leveled by the former ISRO chairperson. How do you respond to that? That the Congress party wanted to use a space mission for its own benefit to probably, show themselves as a government that supports science and technology and invests heavily in space missions, and that's why they preponed a space mission. How do you respond to that for political gains?
The functioning of the department, as I told you before, it is headed by a scientist, not by career bureaucrat. It is directly under the Prime Minister's office. So it has got a minimal political interference. And secondly, if you talk about during the Congress regime, already there were a lot of achievements. The Chandrayaan 1 mission, which was a grand success, which...
Lokesh Jindal, I've asked you a very direct question.
No, I'm simply telling you, whatever Mr. Nair said was something he knows it better. But as per the fact, with respect to the functioning of the department as well as ISRO, it is aptly clear that that's a department where we have minimal political interference.
But Lokesh Jindal, but you are saying that there was minimal political interference, but G. Madhavan Nair has also said, and let me complete this. He said almost half the work for Chandrayaan 2 was done earlier, but all those things were diverted for the Mars mission because the UPA wanted to show that some major event is happening before the 2014 election. So we, which means the ISRO, had to start from scratch, and only after the Modi regime came to power, they reinstated the old program. So Chandrayaan 2 preparations were done, but all the energy, all the focus was diverted to the Mars mission because the UPA government wanted to show that something big was happening ahead of 2014. Respond.
No, Swati. I would defer to that because as per the rules of business, the Department of Space, it is allocated a budget that's via the Finance Ministry. And that is the only bureaucratic interference, or we will say the political interference.
Nothing was happening as per the rule of business. If you go by the allegation leveled by the former ISRO chairperson, G. Madhavan Nair, sir,
takes decision in
nothing was going by the rule of the business. He's very clearly saying that, just to show that something big was happening ahead of the Lok Sabha polls, they wanted us to quickly prepone the Mars mission. That's the allegation. You're not responding to that. Let me open this up and go.